Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with King. Just want to get the financial sorry, I just want to get the this is not financial advice. Please do your due diligence before making any decisions based on this information. So sorry, guys, I'm reading something at the same time. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get it started today. So I am looking at the 1 hour chart at the moment, and it looked like we had a little bit of a fake breakout here. Had a little ascending or rising wedge going here. It did break out, but it is on the bottom side of it again. But I'm starting to see we're kind of having resistance right at 6,500, and we're having some support levels here in the 6,300 to 63 to 6,350 area. We're getting some good balances here, but it still looks pretty weak to me. Just like we had talked about the other day, that 50-day or the 50-hour anyway moving average has come down, and it's kind of just, it's in a free fall still, so it's kind of helping hold this down. I would like to see us come back and test the zero line where we went down to. We still have a lot of room to fall here, as you can see. So I still expect us to fall. I mean, we could have a little bit of a bounce up, but I just don't see it being much. It's kind of been hanging around this area pretty good for a while now. So this fib level over here is just this more recent fall. I just kind of got it out of the way, and I mean we've retraced back to this 236 level. Got over it a little bit, but then got rejected. Came back down. That's where we got that 50, or where we filled our orders basically at 6,500. So smaller time frames, if we redraw this, I mean, you can basically just pull this down here, and it's almost a perfect bear flag. So, I mean, it was a nice little triangle. It broke down. Now it's painting a nice little bear flag. So maybe we'll see it break down here shortly. Also, we do have some ETF news coming today. I've been scanning the sites trying to see if it's approved or not approved. I mean, I don't think it's going to be approved, but just for better safe than sorry purposes, we want to make sure we're keeping an eye on that. So that's kind of the idea there. And if you look at it, we're kind of back in this range here where we had some decent support the first time. Once we broke into it, we broke out and got into here a little bit, and we hung out there for a few days. So this stop here isn't shocking to me at all. I feel we'll bounce around here a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and fall and crash to the ground. So, well, not to the ground, but you get my point. Let's see. Go back to the weekly chart. I was talking about this yesterday, and I said I would talk about it today. Let me get this out of the way. This is my weekly chart. Again, we're in this nice descending triangle here. I truly believe that this is the breakdown point here. I think it's going to happen sooner than later. We should test the bottom of this BB after being rejected off the center again. So just keep in mind 5,000 to 5,500 to 5,000 is very, very possible in this next drop. The other thing that I'm watching here, which is is the engulfing candle we have right here. Okay, and what I mean by that is that this candle is not only fell past this candle, but it's also falling past this candle, and that's what we consider an engulfing candle. Okay, if it closes on Sunday beneath this line, it's an 80% chance that this continues in this downtrend. So just keep that in mind. It's an 80% chance. So every time it's happened, and it's always happened on that first candle. If you look here, This one, it didn't quite go back, but that's because the breakout was so strong. But back here, when we broke out back to 10K, that next week candle engulfed this one. And it led to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 week fall. Okay. It didn't happen here. This is kind of a pattern here, but it did happen. Oh, where did it happen at again? It happened somewhere up here. Either way, just keep that in mind. This engulfing candles can be pretty deadly. So we'll see what this candle does. You know, we still got a few more days, 2 more days today, Saturday, Sunday, 2-3 more days for this to close. So we'll see what happens, but it's definitely not looking good. So keep that in mind again. Plus, you know, we're on a 2, which guaranteed, as long as this finishes back here or down here or even anywhere near this range, actually it just needs to close underneath that candle. If it closes underneath that candle, then it'll price flip, and you know, then we'll probably see a 1 candle red, maybe even a 2 candle red. You know, we'll just have to wait it out and see. So with the sequential system, that's saying, you know, just watch that area. It's very possible that we're, you know, it's time to break down. We tested the bottom of the BB here, but we still haven't had, you know, and let's just talk about this for a second. Every time we have fell, even on the weekly chart, we can go back and forth between every chart, but when you have that candle that closes outside of the BB, most of the time, not all the time, but a good chance of the time, you see a massive fall off, and that's what we've seen here on the weekly chart. It clearly shows it closed out of the BB. This candle was all the way out, and then look at this crash that we're having. So I expect us to at least test the bottom of this BB or close under the bottom of the BB before we see any real uptrend, unless you know, obviously ETF approval or something along those lines that will negate that, and we'll go on a bull run. But at this point, that's what I'm seeing, and we're also starting to finally see, if you look at this weekly chart, you're starting to get your countdown, which is good news. But you've got 13 numbers to go before this countdown is complete. So, or well, not 13. You got 11 numbers to go before this is complete. Unless for some reason we get some type of a bull run and it takes that out. So we could be coming towards the end of the bear market, but I don't see it happening until after we close the candle out of this BB, pending ETF or anything like that kind of news. So just keep that in mind. Go back and look at the, oops, look at the daily chart. Same thing with the daily. If you look at the daily, again, even on this fall, there's no reason we shouldn't test the bottom of the BB. Even just test it, which is at 6K, 6,100 now area. But we should test it, at least test it, and maybe even push it down a little bit. We touched it here, and we wrote it down a bit. We touched it here, we wrote it up a bit. So we'll probably touch it here and write it down a bit. I mean, it's kind of the pattern of the BB. Same thing here, up and up. We touched it, we wrote it up. We came down, we wrote it down. You know, and that's kind of the way it's been. So on every time it goes up and down, when it touches tops and bottoms of the BB, it moves. So we didn't quite close out of it, but it negated the fact that it negated the fact that we needed to once we broke the center line. Okay, so I mean, it's pretty clear that we're going to at least 6,000. You know, and it's the same target I've had. I'm going to keep that target in mind. That's the start. From there, I mean, we don't know. I mean, we can't tell if it's going to walk down, if it's going to close out and underneath there real quick, or maybe drop to 6. Maybe it drops to 5.8, 5.9 real quick down to test this level down here. But that could close out of the BB, depending on how fast it happens. So just keep that in mind as well. Again, we'll go back to the 4 hour. Same thing with the 4. Now, the 4 hour did. Now, it hit the top, we wrote it down, and we closed out of it. But if you've noticed, as we've stayed sideways, the BB has kept on falling. The center line is crossing over your 128-hour moving average, or 128, times 4 moving average, so 128 MA. You're getting a cross with the 20 MA. So this could go ahead and crash again. This could get deadly. So just keep that in mind. 4 hour looks good, but there's a strong chance that it can come back down maybe here and test this again, and maybe write it down a little bit more. It's hard to tell, but the bottom of the BB here is 59, right at our bottom line here. So let's see what happens. Okay, bottom of the BB. Let's see if we can go back and maybe write it down a little bit more. Let's check out the long shorts. So if you look at the long shorts again, there's no confidence in longing this. It's actually dropping. People are dropping their confidence in the long. Shorts are coming down a little too. But overall, off of BitMEX chart anyway, or wait, no, this is BitMEX. Yeah, this is BitMEX. Wait a second. No, this is the BitMEX shorts. Okay, I'm sorry. But either way, there's just no interest here. There hasn't been. You can basically draw an even line down the center there, and there's really been no movement with longs, because even in this, little baby uptrend that we had, if you've been doing this a while, you know that this is just a fake out. This is a dead cat little bounce, just like the 7,500 that we touched before was, or 7,400. It all leads to the same conclusion. So let's check out the oscillators. So the oscillators on the BitMEX chart, again, if you look at this, your stock is getting back towards that overbought area. Your RSI is getting neutral. Your TSI is neutral, okay, but in a downtrend. Again, MACD is kind of worthless right now in my eyes. You've had four bullish / bearish crossovers within the last 8 hours. It's not really telling me much, but the CMF is telling me that it's losing money. Money's coming out, and it's all in the squeeze is telling me that it's weak. It doesn't really. It's not trying to go either way. It's not pushing. So we'll see. But this is on the hourly. If you go to the 4 hour, you're still kind of in that oversold area. You're still oversold on your RSI. Now your TSI, on the other hand, is not in oversold territory anymore, and that's what I was telling you before. Is remember that these two are lagging. These are lagging indicators, as well as the TSI. But this is, as a buddy of mine likes to say, it's like a double smooth version of the RSI. It's a lot more accurate, and as I've been using it more and more and more and more and more, I'm tending to find out that it is. It's definitely a lot more accurate. So this is telling me that it's not quite oversold anymore. The MACD is turning, so we may see a bullish crossover here, but we could also see a rejection. Like I've told you guys many times, we've seen this where it'll turn in, it's about to hit, and then boom, it just crashes. So again, looking at this, saying, okay, it's a bullish crossover, and then you look at the CMF and it's saying people are taking money out, it doesn't make sense. And your momentum is definitely to the low side. So just think about that. On the 12 hour, again, 12 hour, not quite oversold anymore. It's touching the oversold levels, but it's not there right now. Even on the RSI and TSI are pretty much the same here. Your stocks are definitely oversold, but again, CMF, money is coming out, and your momentum is starting to go downtrend. So watch that. And then if we go to the daily crossed over red again, which I think we all kind of expected that to happen. But that did happen. CMF again is kind of in the downward spot. Your momentum is coming down. Your RSI still has plenty of room to fall. Your TSI still has plenty of room to fall. Your stock has plenty of room to fall. So this could get ugly over the next few days. If you go to the weekly chart, which is the one that I wanted to look at, I know we're not going to be able to find out if what that crossover does until Sunday, but I've got a feeling that your MACD on the weekly is going to cross back bearish on Sunday. So keep that in mind. A lot of people were excited about this green crossover. It hasn't happened in, you know, months and months and months. Well, it doesn't look very good. So let's see here. Again, CFM's down, momentum's falling, but RSI, TSI all have room to fall, and they still are. They're in a downtrend. Your stocks can kind of go either way. Let's go ahead and take a look back at what's going on here. Is it this one? Yeah. Let's take a look at Ether. Yeah, so again, Ether looks the same exact way. Ether actually looks like it's ready to break down, break down fast. If you just draw it here, or you just look at the price line showing that where it's at right now is basically kind of its little support level, but then you've kind of got a little descending triangle going here. Or, yeah, descending triangle. So there's a really good chance that Ether breaks down, and breaks down quite, let's see here, could break down quite fast. So this may be an excellent short right now. It's a risky short, but it could be an excellent short. Looking at the 1 hour chart, let's take a look at the 4 hour chart real quick. 4 hour chart looks 4 hour chart looks more like a bull flag or a bear flag being painted, with significant downside. Same thing with the 12 hour chart. Looks kind of like a bull flag. We may be able to see a little jump back to here, 229 before it falls, but 1 hour chart's making it look like it's going to crash. And the daily chart for Ether is just one ugly scene. Well, as far as you can go on BitMEX anyway. Let's look at it on BitMEX. So, I mean, again, it almost looks just like the Bitcoin chart. So, no wait, that is the Bitcoin chart. There we go. Again, still kind of looks like the Bitcoin chart. But Ether, if you look at Ether's downtrend compared to Bitcoin's, Ether's is just straight down. Like as straight down as it gets. So even if you draw that there, it's pretty good. It's really good. Alright, so even if you use that there, best case scenario, 269 is what it looks like. Worst case scenario, oh man, who knows, this could get really bad. But yeah, so Ether looks like a good short. I was joking around yesterday saying, you know, maybe just short it and low leverage and turn it off for a few weeks. You might come back and Ether be at 20 bucks, so it might be a good move. So just keep that in mind. I'm gonna watch Ether. I might jump in on Ether as well. We'll see what it does. So back to the Bitcoin chart. This is the hourly chart. Again, that TSI is not in that oversold area anymore. It's kind of creeped back up and kind of got itself back level in the meantime with going nowhere. So I think that we're going to go ahead and see a nice little fall off here soon. We'll see what happens. Let me see. I think that was it for that. I did want to go over one thing, was this BlackRock Bitcoin ETF news that Coinbase dropped yesterday. And, you know, it didn't do anything to the market. You got to remember, this is a straight rumor. There's no partnerships. BlackRock, again, has shown no interest in cryptocurrency in a while. Or not that they haven't shown interest in it, but it hasn't been, they haven't shown as much interest as Coinbase is making it seem. So this is a ways out. Don't take it too seriously. I think, more importantly overall, this is the other SEC news. Let's just look it up real quick, see if anything's coming out. There should be a ETF decision being dropped today. So let's just see if anything happens there. Okay, here we go. Here's something new. Just came up. This was good news though. The Trump got us a pro-crypto SEC commissioner now, which that might end up helping us out here in the long run. Let's see here. So you get some other crypto supporter. Market reaction is muted so far. SEC gets another crypto supporter. So yeah, I mean, this is just talking about the same thing that I was just showing you on the last one with the Trump, appointing this pro-crypto commissioner. So let's see how that plays out. But still no news from the SEC yet that I see. I expect something to be dropping soon though. Just because it's the day, and they're never on. They don't ever miss their date. So we'll just have to see what happens. But anyway, that was just one little thing I wanted to go over. There's not much out there that important to me that I wanted to talk about. So again, I'm just watching this this chart here. This is one of my original charts. This is the descending triangle that I was telling you about, or descending wedge that we have going here as well. So you have the descending triangle, which is kind of more accurate at the moment with all the support at 6K. But if it breaks through, our stop should be at that 55 to 5,000 range. So just remember that. If we do somehow break through 58, which I think is going to happen, our targets are going to be about 5,000, 5,500 to 5,000. So we'll see what happens. But something's going to happen today. We'll find out. If it's rejected, I don't think anybody's going to care. I don't think it's going to have much impact on the market. Now, obviously, if it's approved, we'll switch everything and go long and just hold on to it and see how it goes. So we'll see. But so that's basically my plan for today. I haven't really been watching too many other things just because really it just matters on what Bitcoin does at this point. I think if we do go back down and test the 6K levels, everything else will fall again. If we do end up breaking down in the next week or so, which I believe we will, everything else is going to crash. I mean, crash fast. So just keep that in mind. It is 1:35 or 1:37 p.m. here right now. So we should have a decision from the SEC by 4 p.m., which is about 2 hours and 20 minutes. Something like that, and actually it should be faster than that. It actually may come down any minute because they're on the East Coast, which is going to be 4 o'clock there here pretty quick. So we should really honestly see some type of a decision come through in the next 25 minutes. So just keep an eye out for it. Just keep refreshing the Google and checking the SEC site as well. I have that up on a different page that I'm not showing you guys right now. So I am still refreshing that page as well and trying to get it to see if what pops up in their newsroom or in their press releases. So, but anyway, I think that is all for today. I don't have much else to go over. Just remember the engulfing candle I was showing you on the weekly chart. Just keep that one in mind, as it is very possible very, very possible that this candle will, you know, stay as an engulfing candle and create at least another week or maybe even 2 of red, which would bring us down to that bottom of the BB. I think that's what this is going to need for us to see a real rally. We need to find a low. We need to find a bottom, and right now we haven't found it. So we'll just have to see. So you got your 128 week moving average, which is right here at 4,100. If you get past, if we break past this, you know, break through this BB, then, you know, these are your 2 support levels, which gets ugly. So let's hope that it doesn't go that far. I don't want it to go that far. You know, I do want to see 5K, so that we can see a decent bounce and maybe break that 10K level, which has really been killing us. So if we can get past 10, I think we're in good shape. And honestly, as long as we can break any of these previous highs. Now, once we get all the way down here, if we do come down that far, like as of right now, I'm still nowhere near bull until after 85. But if we can break down and go to here, then I'll be bull after 75. So, you know, we just have to see. Actually, I'm going to be bull right off the bat if we get to 5K. So, but just keep it in mind, we'll go from there. We'll come back to it tomorrow. Or actually, not tomorrow. We'll come back to it Monday. And we'll see what happens over the weekend. Usually, I mean, weekends lately have been pumpy. But I'm thinking it's going to be a red one. So, that's my outlook on it. I'm still short at 6,500 right now, and I have a few orders up to 67 just in case if it happens. I don't see it happening, but that's, you know, better safe than sorry. We'll DCA it, or not DCA it, but we'll do my strategy on. We'll buy it up, and we'll catch this bad boy all the way down to 5.5 if that's the case. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll play it smart. We'll be patient. If you guys can, please subscribe to the channel, like it as well. If you're not on BitMEX yet, we do have a link. You can save yourself, you know, 10% on fees. For 6 months, we also have, I also put a link down there for RobinHoodApp. I am going to start talking a little bit more about some stocks here and there. Start coming here probably next week. So I've been pushing that out there. I do trade stocks as well, so I just want you guys to, if you have any questions there, I can look up some charts, tell you what I'm thinking. If you don't have the Robinhood app and you're in the United States, you can use that. It's free trading. It's real awesome. If you sign up with the link, we both get a free share. So that is also in the channel information and video information. But other than that, you guys have a good weekend, and we will get back at it. We'll get back at it on Monday. So see you guys later.